What's the most interesting revelation you've had about the opposite sex? Nuts move all on their own. Like the skin flexes and shifts, and like crawls up and down twitching. I read it on Reddit. Called bullshit and went and inspected the spouse. Was very surprised. I learned it in the last few years. I'm not a young person. Like the skin flexes and shifts, and like crawls up and down twitching. As someone who has a nutsack himself, I love how this made them sound like horrific Silent Hill-esque nightmare creatures. It's all fun and games until you put her favorite bra in the dryer. Even accidentally, when my husband and I moved in together, I showed him how to wash bras and to hang them up. One day, he was in a rush and wasn't paying attention and put 4 of my good bras in the dryer on high. He apologized profusely and promised to replace them. After he found out how much each one of them were, he asked if he could buy me a new one each pay period. I said that's fine and said he will probably never make this mistake again. How wet she is can be totally unrelated to how horny she is. Also, birth control can prevent a woman from being able to get wet. So she might be horny as hell, but she simply won't get wet. Oh my f god, is this true? I wasn't a weird broken person all that time. I was 16 over 17 when I found out periods happen over time. Not an instant gush of blood that comes out at some random point over a 1-week time period. I blame adverts for panty liners where they poured all the blow liquid out at once. I mean, sometimes if you sneeze it can come out like the ads show. As a dude I grew my hair really long and the amount of hair I had to pull out but while showering was shocking. Crazy that so many long-haired ladies had been pulling hair out their butts most their lives. As a dude married to a woman with long hair, it's crazy how much hair I pull out of my butt. I was always amazed how much would be wrapped around my junk, even when we hadn't been getting busy in a while. That they don't care much about our flaws like we think. Woman, oh god. I'm getting naked. He's going to hate my saggy boobs, my weird tummy, my stretch marks. Oh no, is he staring at my butt because he hates it? Man, I can't believe I get to have sex with this girl. More like this idiot actually wants to have sex with me. I'm a complete shambles in every way, shape, and form, and oh god, what if she wants kids? I'm a broke joke and really stupid on top of that. Jesus, I suck. It's only a matter of time until she breaks up at me and spreads around what a loser I'm like. Ladies, we think all this too. I learned on Reddit that they don't stick those pads things to themselves, they stick it to their underwear. I guess it's obvious in hindsight. DIY Brazilian. That feeling when one pube gets stuck in the sticky is bad enough. I can't imagine all of them being stuck. That nothing stands the test of time in a relationship more than kindness. It can't be faked long term. It's literally the most important quality in a mate. OMG, upvote this. It's the hardest thing to do, especially when you are 25 years in with 2 kids. But let the small s go and just be kind. Find one selfless thing you can do, say every day, to make your partner feel special, no matter how st you feel yourself. It comes back at you in multiples. Their pants don't have a waist size and leg length, just an arbitrary number. The F is a size 3. Edit. I had no idea a size 3 was tiny. It was the first number that popped into my head. A size 3 is a really easy way to hide the fact that they are making these clothes with really bad measurement margins. Don't get me wrong. Putting actual measurements doesn't prevent this. I have many pairs of shorts that are all the one size in inches, but some fit and some don't. But still, it's one thing for me to say is this, or is this not 40 inches, and another thing for me to say size 3. What does that mean? I suppose it's a size 3. Men really do sit there and think about the most random things. You think they are mad at you, but they are seriously just contemplating what would happen if oxygen just suddenly disappeared for a brief moment. I thought I was the only one with that what if scenario. It was decades ago, but until I lived with a woman I had no clue how expensive bras were. I honestly thought they were light underpants, maybe $10 for a 3-pack. Mine run $65 each. I just spent $120 for 2 totally decent, no frills, unlined bras. 34B. I truly thought the hooders were mine. You will never get them back. No one ever does. Is that why you have massive anxiety? They can withstand you lying on top of them. This made me laugh. I had a really petite girlfriend who always wanted me on top. I was really afraid I'd hurt her by lying on top of her. But on the contrary, it made her feel good. It's a whole body hug. It's nice. Shirt buttons are on the other side? But why? Edit. Wow. Crazy response to this post. It's amazing how we all go about life with something so different and not really even noticed. The wealthy used to be dressed by servants. Vaginas are farther down than I expected. Definitely. I always assumed they'd be where dicks are. I never knew how doing it from behind was physically possible. Funny enough, I've had to explain to a few women that dicks are way higher than they'd think. Men don't care about the size of boobs half as much as I thought they do. Every man's favorite boob size is whichever ones are right in front of him. As a fat guy, I hate the ones in front of me. The amount of hair they shed is astounding. I have extremely thick, almost waist length hair, and it's genuinely upsetting to everyone involved how much hair I shed in the shower or while brushing it. One of the many reasons I only wash my hair twice a week. I'm not emotionally equipped to handle that on a daily basis. I've had colorful color for years. It's super weird to see how your hair can end up so many places. I've seen it in my dog's poop. Occasionally one of my hairs would end up in someone's food. No denying that it's mine. And hair just stays forever. Pulled a white blanket out of the dryer and I could see colors I haven't had for over a year. How? Men are incredibly emotional humans in a way that deserves so much showing up for and gentleness. I used to believe the stereotypes and didn't always hold space for men to bring their emotions. But once I began clocking into how some men show up in their emotions, I was able to see how awesome they are in that space. That guys don't talk about their sex life with each other. I grew up watching all these movies where guys were in locker rooms describing their sexual encounters. So I thought all guys did this. I was surprised to find out that they hardly ever do this. And a lot don't want you discussing it at all with anyone. Edit. Thanks for the award. Also, my notifications are crying right now. The type of guy who would talk about his sex life in a locker room is the type of guy who only tells lies about his sex life. I think I was a teenager when I realized that my assumption, 95% of women think they are beautiful, was actually the inverse of reality. I have no idea why I thought that was the case. But I did. When I started understanding people's insecurities about their appearance, men included, it changed the way I interacted with them. You really look like yesterday. You look really pretty. What I said, you look really shitty. Good night. They may get fascinated by a piece of cheese. I mean, that statement wasn't entirely untrue. Long-winded. Bear with me. When I lived with male roommates and would clean the bathroom, yeah, everything was always covered in a thin sheer of beard hair, which, like, whatever. Price of admission of living with men. But the dust and hair around the base of the toilet was always immune to a broom, so I would have to get down and scrub. Which again, NBD, you should be scrubbing your bathroom anyways. But then I moved in with my girlfriend. And just my girlfriend. I took my first bath. And my cat walked near the base of the toilet. And I was like, buddy, no, I haven't mopped down there yet. And I looked. And it was a little dusty, but it didn't have that sticky gross dust. And I realized, it's pee splatter. The dust is sticky and caked to the floor because of pee splatter. I felt so stupid for not realizing until that moment, and also so grossed out for every time I personally scrubbed my roommate's pee off the floor. Edit. I'm a girl. It wasn't my pee. Women really want to be found interesting by someone who isn't trying to sell them something or get them into bed in the next few hours. This is true. As I enter my mid-40s and have some weight padded on, it's downright refreshing to go out and about and not be seen as a sex object, but to be seen just as a person you can converse with. It's so different and eye-opening being on the other side of that. It's also freeing to know that you're not at risk of being raped/kidnapped. Like, sure, the threat is still there, but it's so much less than it used to be, and it's unbelievably freeing. I recently learned that there is apparently a large subsection of women that do not know you cannot flush tampons. I really thought this was common knowledge, as I have seen the signs in every unisex bathroom I have been in that say, do not flush hygiene products. It seems to me that, even if no one told you not to do this, the regular plumbing issues you must encounter would correct the problem on its own. Seems wild to me. Oh good. Back when I was a kid, probably in the mid 80s, and before they had those warnings, we had a toilet clog that my mom couldn't plunge loose. So she called the plumber. I say the plumber, because we lived in a town so small that we only had one plumber. As it turned out, the clog wound up being at a pipe junction down from the toilet in the yard. Huge deal. And as my mom went out there to check with the plumber to see what was up, he reached down into the hole he dug and held up a huge handful of tampons that had been lodged in the pipe. He said, "You see these things? I know they say you can flush them, but you can't. So don't flush them anymore unless you wanna keep giving me money." My very easily embarrassed mother was utterly horrified. It's a wonder she didn't drop dead. Haha. That men and women have hair, ear and butthole. Was taking a shower with my BF the other day. Started shaving there. He said, "Why are you shaving your butt?" I said, "Why do you think?" He told me he never knew women grew hair there. Hes 27. They are still attracted to women after they have children, get older, etc etc. I spent all my teens and 20s completely nervous that I was not attractive enough and completely insecure after I had kids, only to find out men don't care about stretch marks, grey hair, or a little bit of a soft tummy. Men dig confident and happy women. The stuff we are insecure about does not stop them from thinking we are sexy. Such a revelation. If you treat them right, they will take care of you when you're disgusting. I can't get off the pot right now, and we're a little scared we might have to call an ambulance. She brought me a small glass of wine, a water bottle, and some crackers. She's sitting by the door, that's love. Update, I couldn't pee, and it was hurting, but I'm okay now. The wine seems so 1800s medicinal. I feel like you might have the grip. Men get instantly hard in the morning for no reason.